Hello, everybody. Welcome to another scene for Sept of the Howling Winds, a Werewolf the Apocalypse venue set in San Diego, California. In the scene, we have Alyssa. I will put up her overlay, who has arrived on Sept a bit early. I don't know what time of day it would be, either morning or evening when Theo arrives to the shrine, but she's there before him. And she is just quietly working in the garden. Clearing her thoughts and processing the events of the last couple of days.
Theo walks up, and when he notices her, he almost turns around and walks away. But he grits his teeth, and in the back of his mind, he's saying, I haven't heard any of this from her. I might as well just do what I was going to do, pray at the shrine, and let the day pass. And so he just walks up and starts praying, doing his normal routine.
Which she, does not, she doesn't interrupt. She doesn't interfere with it. She just keeps working, pulling weeds and whatnot, probably also planting new things since it's about that time of year.
Mm-hmm. He'll finish up, and then he'll take a deep breath. Alyssa, how are you?
She'll smile to him. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm well enough.
That's good.
Been spending some time with Jessie.
Yeah, when Jesse's name is mentioned, she very much tenses, like she'll just nod.
Yeah, and Camden is staying with my family.
There's another name that makes her tense. It's a fucking bastard, I swear to God. And she'll nod. That's good.
He's chewing his lip, and we'll say
she can't tell if Theo's doing this on purpose or not. She thinks he might be.
Honestly, he isn't, but
she'll just nod and keep, pulling the weeds.
he takes a deep breath, and he looks down.
She takes a deep breath as well.
I haven't seen you recently. I guess a lot has changed.
She'll nod. Indeed. It has. It has. I'm gonna take a guess that you've probably heard about what's happened the last 3 days.
Yeah, I heard it, but I would like to hear it again since it hasn't been from your lips.
Well, I do appreciate that you would want my side perspective before forming an opinion. Though I can I can see it in your eyes that you've already formed one, and I think you're hoping I'll change your mind.
He nods. From what I've heard, it's just really hard not to, I suppose.
I'm sure. I'm sure I've been painted as just shake her head. The thing that people forget is that I've spent my whole life trying to please everybody else and make them happy while sacrificing my own happiness. Though happiness is overrated, she'll nod. But I don't. The one time I did something for myself, I did end up hurting people. And, well, it's happened again. I decided to do something for myself and ended up hurting people, including myself, but she'll shrug.
I have to ask you a question.
Sure.
Camden told me something, and honestly, I don't see you as that person, but he told me that he was forced to be with 3 men while you stood there and watched. And he looks into her eyes.
Yeah, she tears up. I watched. There was absolutely nothing that I could do to stop it. And I wanted to stop it. Oh, believe me, I did. I did not want him to go through that. But you don't defy the demon of wrath. You just don't.
He nods.
And he
He's
was the
tearing
one
up a bit.
he was the one forcing it. So, yes, I sat and I watched and I cried and I screamed. And I was forced and used as well.
He chews his lip.
So, Camden didn't know what happened before he walked through that door. And he didn't want me to tell him. So yeah, he'll sit there and he'll tell you that I watched and didn't do anything to stop it while he was forced to do things that he wasn't interested in doing. But he also didn't know. He didn't know what happened before that. But he didn't say, I guarantee you, he didn't say that I wanted to stop it because I told him I did. But I couldn't because you don't defy the demon of wrath. You just don't. And had he refused, my fate would have been much worse. I would have more than these. And she'll lift her shirt, and there are fresh scars on her sides, and they look like distinct claw marks from where he dug into her.
He has a very worried and sad look on his face.
But I decided that I wanted to be with Sam. That I've always wanted to be with Sam ever since I was 17. So I accepted it, and I accepted him. And in turn, I had to give up Camden because he hates Camden. He doesn't respect him. He doesn't think that he's worth anything. And he wouldn't share Camden with me, or share me with Camden. So Camden left.
And you pushed away Jesse to protect him.
I pushed Jesse away because I needed to push Jesse away. It has nothing to do with protecting him. He is the many skins, the chosen of Coyote. He can protect his fucking self. I pushed Jesse away because he's my kryptonite.
You could tell that there's a lot of hurt when she says that, because of the things that Jesse said about how he cared about Dazzles.
But that doesn't mean that I don't love him. I love him so much. I love him too much. And he will never, ever love me the same. He loves me, sure, but the things that I wanted with him, the pipe dream. So I did what was best for me, and I gave him the baby that I was only ever supposed to be a surrogate for in the first place. And I let him go because it's what's best for me.
He'll walk in and hug her.
As much as it hurts. And boy, does it hurt. It hurts so much. He was the first person since Emilio that I fell in love with. I didn't allow myself to love, to do anything for over 15 years. And then I found Jesse. And it hurts that I can't be with him so badly. It hurts.
He holds her really tight, just letting her talk, listening to her.
So don't think for a second that I don't love or care about him. But it had nothing to do with him. It was for me. I had to leave him for me. And I don't know if we'll be friends again at some point. I don't. I'm not even sure if that's a good idea. I just kind of need to. She'll shake her head. I am part of the Petrova family now.
Look at her.
Sam is my primary mate, but he can't be around all the time. So my secondary mate is Xenia. He and I have a lot more in common than I ever anticipated. So I think we'll be good for each other.
And Rose knows.
Oh, she laughs. Oh, Rose knows. Yes, she does. However, we're okay now. She and I are okay now. She did come after me, and she made damn sure that I knew what would happen should I do anything to hurt Xenia. Because she said that I am not the only one that protects a man that I love. So, and I understood, and I took it, and I don't harbor any ill will or anything. But, however, after that, she'll not. We're okay. I think that we're gonna be good friends.
You know, I believe that I still see I see you and me a lot. Not the other way around, because, you were first. He smiles.
She smiles. Yeah, I still care a lot about you. And I'm still here. I know that a lot has happened and I'm not painted in the best light, but hey, it is what it is. And
I know what it's like, though.
do you want to do you want to know my story? Like really know what happened to me?
If you're willing to tell it, I won't force you.
Yeah, I'm willing to tell it. And tell it with the truth.
He listens.
My father was Marco Gonzalez. He was a Shadow Lord of Rune. And he was Beta of the Sept that I lived on. The Alpha was a Silver Fang. And the Sept was at peace for a very long time. There were some tensions. Both sides, both tribes becoming a little restless. My mother is Silver Fang kinfolk. So I was born of both Shadow Lord and Silver Fang blood. I was my father's daughter. I was daddy's girl. He was everything to me, and I to him. And we got a lot closer than a father and daughter should, you know. He never had sex. The desire was there. We were affectionate, very affectionate with each other. My mother, she kind of turned a blind eye to it because Silverfang, she knows how things can be. But I could always tell she wasn't quite okay with it. And so my father could as well. I tell people that I left because I didn't like what my father was doing. And I tried to get my mother to go with me, but I left because I knew that the man that I wanted to be with, I never could. Because he was my father.
He'll nod, not realizing he didn't hear that part of the story.
And I started to distance myself from him, and he could feel it. And he started taking that out on the Sept. So I thought that if I wasn't there, it would be better. So I ran away shortly after my first change. And after I ran away was when he started focusing on taking over the Sept. And I'm pretty sure that part of the reason he raised the cairns he did was over me leaving. And I think he was also looking for me in those Septs. I kept a low profile. I didn't want to be found. I was 14 when I ran away. I went to Sept of the Western Eye in San Francisco, which was very far from where I was from. I'm actually from, my dad's from Argentina, but the Sept that I came from was in Canada.
Wow, that is a long way.
On Eastern Canada. So I went from Eastern Canada to San Francisco. I ran at 14. So, and this was 16, no, 20, hang on. I am, 24 years ago. I met Sam when I was 17 and his son Owen. His sons Owen and Emilio. And I laid with all three of them. But I fell in love, like really fell in love with Emilio. But Owen wanted me. And I would sleep with him. And the baby I got pregnant with, I wanted it to be Emilio so badly, but I knew it was Owen's. But I still claimed it was Emilio's. Emilio was Bailey's father. I was a little selfish, no, a lot selfish, manipulative. I wasn't a nice person. I was a lot like Caroline. I did what I wanted for me, and it didn't matter who was hurt in the process. I didn't care. I wanted what I wanted. She'll shrug.
He'll squeeze her hands.
Emilio left shortly after I got pregnant. He was in the Bringers of Light camp, Shadow Lords. But instead of, which it happens that some of the Bringers of Light will actually fall while they're infiltrating hives and things like that. And that's what happened to him. He fell. When he came after Bailey, when Bailey was 5, and I saw him again, so many emotions went through me. I had the elders of the Sept tell Owen that Bailey died. I wanted Owen and Sam away from him. So they left me alone. And after Bailey's first change, I was able to raise him as a den mother would, but not as an actual mother would, because he was taken from me when he was born, as is standard protocol. I was very lucky I was not killed for having a metis. It took me a long time to get to foster because of that. I wasn't stripped of enough renown to go back to Cub, but it was very close. I joined the Children of Gaia because it was the polar opposite of who I was. It was as far away from Shadow Lord as I could get. And I thought that if I believed enough, if I told myself that I was this person, I would become this person. And for a very long time, I think for a very long time, I was good at it. I was good at playing the innocent. And I threw myself into being a den mother. And I earned the name Dazzles the Young because I was very good with the cubs. I raised them like I never I was it's been said that I'm one of the best den parents that a lot of Garu have seen in a long time because I was very devoted to the education and teaching of my cubs. And I've never had a cub fail the rite of passage. I had a couple cubs die during their rites of passage, but that was beyond my control, you know.
He nods.
I raised many cubs. I was den mother for 15 years. So, but I put my past away and I never talked about it. My pack decided to just let me be who I wanted to be. They're the ones that kept me from really. I really think that Wisdom of the Earth is the one who kept me from being killed for having a menace. And I owe her. I owed her so much. She took care of me. She was like a mother to me. And when I heard that my father had started his reign of terror, and when I heard that he killed my mother, I was devastated, but didn't I didn't make a big deal out of it, I guess, you know. My mother and I were never really all that close anyway. I think part of her resented me for how close I was to my father. So I never had a proper mother anyway. Well, Wisdom was that for me. She took me in. I'm the youngest member of the Howls of the Past. I always have been. Everyone else is so much older. I was a very young Garu joining a very established pack. I was a Cleath, the rest were Adrian or above. I've been running with the same pack for 20 years. And yeah, we've lost members. But and Dev and I met when I was about 20. He came to the Sept. He stayed. And he became my best friend, and our packs became allies. And they always have been. We've been on so many missions together, ones that I could participate in anyway. Being a den parent has a lot of demands. You can't leave a lot, but I would sometimes be able to leave and get my claws dirty. So, of course, when we when we did Wisdom of the Earth's Elder Challenge to come here and revive the cairn, of course we invited Dev's pack to help, among others. It took a lot of Garu to revive this cairn, and we lost a few. Because when you revive a cairn, it attracts all of all of the worm creatures, black spiral dancers, everything. It attracts everything when you put out that much power and energy. So we had the Aruns and the Galliards covering the Theurges. And the Phyllodoxes. The Ragabashes were helping us stave off the minions of the worm so that we could complete the rite. When you revive a cairn, the rite lasts a very long time, about 10 hours. It has to go from sundown to sunup. We were successful. Dev lost most of his pack. There's only him and one other member left. We lost one of ours, but only one out of 6. 2 other packs were completely wiped out. So when we returned and she passed her challenge, they said that that she was allowed to go and preside over the cairn and make a new sept. So she did, and she brought us with her pack. And Dev decided to come too. And we established sept positions based on who we had. And then my past came back to haunt me. As it does. When you shove down the past and you don't face it, it comes back to haunt you.
He nods at that.
So, I am Alyssa Apollinaire, daughter of Crimson Storm. Marco Gonzalez, descendant of Dark Claws of Vengeance. Do you know who Dark Claw of Vengeance is?
I do not.
Dark Claw of Vengeance is the Shadow Lord who decided to wipe out the Bat Shifters known as the Chemazots. The reason why Bat fell.
He nods.
Everybody says I could have been a great Shadow Lord. But I don't regret my time serving Unicorn. I learned a lot. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But my time with Unicorn is up. It's past. I'm gonna go on to serve the Warden. So smile. I gave him that name, you know.
You did?
Yeah. She nods. He and I were talking. and he was trying to come up with a name, and he said he wanted an official title like Grandfather Thunder. He was like the only other human type totem. I'm like, why don't you just simply be known as the Warden? And he lit up. And he hugged me, he spun me, kissed my cheeks. He loved it. He loved that I gave him that name. And I feel that I belong with the Wardens of the Lost. Because I've been so very lost for a long time.
I can see that.
And yeah, I've hurt people. I might seem like I pick people up and drop them, just. It's not even like that.
He cups her cheeks and looks into her eyes. Don't worry, it's nothing like sexual
it's
or
fine.
romantic.
No, it's fine.
I did the same thing. Picked people up and dropped them. When I was Caroline, I just did what I wanted. Used people and thought, this is how I will better myself so I can become useful. Stupid.
But I didn't use them. I didn't use Jesse. I didn't use Camden. I didn't use Sebastian or Seeker. I just. It just ended up not being right for me. Not.
Maybe used isn't the right word. I cared about all the people that I hurt, but nonetheless, I furthered myself at their expense.
So not. I relinquished something that I held very dear to me to Jesse.
Autumn.
She'll smile. No. Being a dead parent. Of course I love Autumn. I do, but she was never really mine, and I knew that. Even while I was pregnant with her. I knew that she wasn't mine. She was never supposed to be. All I was supposed to be was a catalyst. Surrogate. Because when Jesse and I, when we first met and we were talking, I offered to be a surrogate for him and Nick. And that's all I was supposed to be. Falling in love was not in the plan. And that just complicated everything. But I knew, on some level, that she wasn't mine. She never will be. I helped name her, yeah, but she'll shake her head. Just like Bailey's never really been mine. He was taken from me as soon as he was born. He didn't even know I was his mother until I killed his father, to be honest.
Bailey still adores you, though.
I know he does. And I adore him. He's my son, but the one thing that I've always wanted is a child that is mine. Sam promised to give that to me. And he did. I'm pregnant. And I will finally have a child that is mine. And not a menace.
You're not.
As cold as that sounds. Just something normal. One normal thing. That's all I want. But I know that he or she won't be normal because, demon blood, but whatever. The closest to normal I'm going to get.
None of us are normal in this crazy world. Heck, I found out that I had fairy blood, and I still don't even know what that is.
Right? And I only have garter blood. But so people talk. They don't know me. They don't know the whole story. And that's okay. They don't need to. If they want to know, they can ask. Otherwise, they can just keep doing what they do and talk.
He hugs her really tight and he says, I know what it's like for people to talk behind your back. People
I know
think that
you
I
do.
don't. People think that I didn't hear what they've said.
Oh, I know. People think that I don't hear what they say. I know what they say about me.
I have sharp
And I know that
ears.
they think that I'm an absolute cunt for what I did to Camden or Jesse. Shake her head. They can think that. I know the truth.
I never said that you
I
were.
saved Camden.
I felt like I was beginning to not know you anymore, but I'd rather have heard it from you than anything.
Theo, I don't even know me anymore. But I'm trying to figure that out.
Theo gestures to himself. I get that.
And honestly, Petrova family, that was the last place I thought I'd feel at home.
he just he begins laughing.
But I feel like I'm finally where I belong.
You know, I don't broadcast this, but Talia is my lover again.
She smiles. Good. He's a very wonderful man.
I never stopped loving him.
He told me that he was my father's ally. He gave him names, locations. Thought that my father was very noble in what he was doing. He told him not to go after Albrecht, that he was different. But I think he went after him to get caught. I think he was tired, but he didn't want to. He wanted to go out memorable, whether that was good or bad. So he went after the king. He got caught, and Eli administered the rite of silver death. And I was devastated that day. You know why?
Why is that?
Because with that rite, you don't get to become an ancestor spirit, which means that I would never ever see him again. And I was devastated. Because I will never get to see his face again.
Listen. I'm here for you, okay?
She nods. I don't think baby unicorn fits you anymore. I think I'll call you baby phoenix.
He tears up at that.
She pulls him into her arms.
You know what's funny? Sam was the one who gave me this name.
It doesn't surprise me, to be honest. Sam gave me my name too. Wisdom's twisted path. It fits. It really does.
Sierra said, "Reborn anew." And Sam said, "Phoenix's song." They put them together and it was Born Anew in Phoenix's song.
And Dev howled it out. I remember. I was happy to hear it. I was. So, will you be my baby phoenix?
Of course. And I'll follow
She'll
your
hug him.
twisted path. He laughs.
Good. Good. Glad to hear it. She'll kiss his forehead. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You eased my doubts.
I'm glad.
You know, I was terrified of Sam when I first met him.
We all were. Everyone's terrified of Sam. I'm not as afraid anymore, but there is that healthy respect that if he wanted to, he could end me with the snap of a finger. But I'm not sure that a demon can actually love the way that we do, but I'm his, and he cherishes me. So I'm not afraid. Not like I once was. She'll smile.
Sam.
She actually looks like that she really loves him.
He smiles at that. I've had very odd experiences with Sam.
I heard that when you were still Caroline and Colton, that he wanted to eat Colton.
Yes. And how I became Theo permanently. He was about to sink a knife into my flesh and begin to eat me.
Oh my.
I changed to Caroline to save myself. And my pack, Bailey was the one who stood up and said to offer Caroline to put Theo in the book.
She smiles so proudly.
I honestly didn't think too much about it. I was kind of scared. And we let it happen. And he began to eat the essence that was Caroline. And he tried to eat my unborn child too.
Oh. So what happened?
Hayden came.
She
They
smiles.
fought inside me. It was painful. And now Lita is carrying my child. It's something that's very hard to process. My best friend is carrying my and Jacob's child.
She'll smile. She really is your best friend if she's willing to do that.
She is. And I care
I'm
about her.
glad. She'll smile. I'm glad you
But you're
have
my
someone
friend
like
too.
that.
And hopefully I can be that someone for you if you ever need to talk.
I appreciate that. I do.
You were the one who gave me my first Steed name. Soothes pain and sorrow.
Yeah. She'll smile. It fit at the time. Definitely fit. And in a way, it still does. Because talking to you has made me feel better. And I appreciate you giving me the chance because I care about you a lot. And I would have been very, very
Thank you.
hurt.
He'll kiss her forehead and he'll say, although my comforting is only based on my own selfishness. When others are happy, I'm happy. He smiles.
She smiles. I know about that all too well.
I had to learn how selfish I really was, but I embrace it now. Because selfishness can be used for good, I believe.
She nods at that. I had to let go of the notion that I was innocent. Because I'm not innocent. I am as far from innocent as you can get. But I tried very hard to believe that I was. And I even projected that. People believed that I was just good and pure but I'm not. I'm really not.
Dear sweet innocent Caroline. That was a
Right?
pipe dream.
That is why when I first met you as Caroline, I told you how much you reminded me of me. And I don't think you really understood what I meant, but I think you do now.
I do.
But you know what? You still remind me of me. I think that we're connected and we always will be. And we're in the same family now.
You know, another thing that I found is really funny.
What's that?
Part of me fell in love with Camden, but he'll never love me.
Not in the way you want.
No. The only reason he even saw me that way was because he saw you. And I let it hurt me.
I'm sorry. I want you to know that I really, truly love Camden. Not loved, love. I do love him very much. I love him enough that I gave up Sebastian and Seeker to save him. I had a good life. I had everything I wanted. I had my husband, my girlfriend, the father of my child. Autumn, I had everybody that I could want together. But I gave all of that up to save a man that I loved so much. And now he's okay to stand on his own. And I love him enough to let him go and let him find his own way. And who knows, maybe one day he and I will, I don't think we'll be together, but maybe we can be friends.
Do
I
you know
kind
what
of see
hurts
it.
the most, though?
What?
And it's a selfish reason.
What?
The two he loves more than anything are my mother and father. And I know he'll never notice me, but he'll always notice them.
She pulls him into her arms. I think he notices you, but he's choosing to not engage with you that way. He notices more than you think. But he probably knows that it's best to not do anything like that with you. So he doesn't want to hurt you that way, or himself. I'm pretty sure that what happened with Sam probably left him with a lot of questions about himself. And I won't be there to help him. But he'll be okay. I can feel it. I am where I belong. I'm having a demon's baby, and I'm with probably the most fucked up family on the face of the earth, but you know what? It fits me. And yes, just so you know, I have been introduced to the ways of the Petrova.
You know, something funny is I never really did do anything for the ways of Petrova. Sure, I was with Nikolai and I was with Tolia, but
Well,
for the
then
most part, I wanted to be with Tolia.
she'll nod. All I've ever wanted is a family. And I have one now. And I'm not letting that go for anything.
He'll squeeze tight on her, like he'll hug her and squeeze tight. And he says, "Well, I've always considered myself still part of the Petrova family. So you're my sister."
She'll hug him, squeeze him tightly.
I know you saw me more as you being my mother, but I
Big
like us
sister
being more
works too.
sisters.
Big sister works too. It's fine.
He throws his
You
hands
still
up.
might be.
I mean,
I know what you mean.
Rose said that to me too. That she would much rather be my sister.
She'll smile. I like Rose. I felt bad when I did to her what I did. But the lesson with her stuck, which I'm glad for. And she got a little bit of payback last night. She'll smile. So we're good now.
Rose is known to do that.
She might be tiny, but geez. She'll shake her head.
He'll do like this spin, and he's like, "I'm a little bit more dangerous than you'd think too." He laughs.
Well, I proved that I was. Nobody expected for me to do what I did to her. Nobody. But I am. I'm glad.
I'll prove to all of them that I don't need to gather more strength, that I'm already strong enough. And my foster and challenge will also prove that.
She'll smile. The other day, Sam told me that I knew who I was, but I wasn't strong enough to admit it. I think I've always been strong enough. I was just in denial and didn't think I was strong enough. But I am strong enough. And I want to be proud of it. So, I will admit that I am my father's daughter. And I am almost exactly like him. And if I ever decided that I wanted to, I could raise every cairn in my way to get what I want. And she'll smile.
He'll boop her nose.
But I don't want to do that. I just want to.
Yet.
Nah. And I don't even need to do the work. All I have to do is tell my husband. But I just want to have his baby and enjoy life, enjoy family.
You know, I think I might regret it, but I think I would like to talk to him at some point. He shakes his head.
Talk to who?
Sam.
Oh, nah, you're in the book. You'll be fine. I don't need to be in the book.
Do you wanna?
I'm probably.
Do you wanna go out to eat somewhere?
Sure. Where do you want to go?
You decide, because I'm terrible at picking out. Because I'm still trying to remember. I used to eat ramen for like years.
Oh God, I know, right? Okay, so
I have daddy. I have Papa's money, and which is really weird. I'm not used to having money.
she'll smile.
He laughs.
What kind of food are you in the mood for? You don't know that either, huh? Okay. see. Do you want something fancy or something not so fancy?
It doesn't have to be fancy. I mean,
Nah, I'm feeling, I don't know, I'm feeling semi-trashy. Let's just go to Denny's.
oh, that sounds good. Girl, I like you.
Don't tell anybody that we ate at Denny's, okay? And actually, I don't
My
think
lips
I
are
don't think
sealed.
I don't think that they would care. I don't think most of them would care.
Now, if Paris and Johan found out, they would just
Okay,
cry.
yeah,
But
don't tell Paris and Johan that we ate at Denny's. Don't do that.
he does.
And
I'll just tell
I
them we
think
ate at some bougie ass place.
that absolutely, you can tell them that for sure. She'll not. Okay. She'll stand up and she'll, dust herself off and whatever. And I think we can end the scene with them leaving to go eat.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, player, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. See you next time.